Alright, for our economics presentation, we'll be presenting on how saving money now will affect your standard of living in the future. And doing the presentation will be myself, Grant Jepson, with Landon Scott, Joe Stea, and Max Behrens. Okay, so we got a situation with two families, the Johnsons and the Stevens. The Johnsons is a smart family who decides to spend some of their money but save about 1/3 of it. The Stevens, on the other hand, is the family that decides to spend all of their income, which is really not that smart. Okay, both these families have the same size. We got mom, dad, one kid. Then they both have the same jobs, same house, and same type of car. There's almost nothing different about this family. Okay. So, when the Johnsons get a paycheck, they put the money aside for savings, necessities, and for a rainy day just in case something bad happens. The Stevens, on the other hand, spend their money on movies, games, foods, and carnivals. So one day, the Johnsons decide to go to the beach. The only pay that will be needed to have their day of fun is $10 for gas, just to get to the beach. On this same day, the Stevens decide to go to the carnival. The Stevens decide to go to the carnival where they have to pay for parking, admissions fees, food, and rides, which costs about $70 altogether. Seeing as how the Johnsons only spend $10 and the Stevens spend $70, that means that Johnsons saved $60 compared to the Stevens, but both families ended up having the same amount of fun. So the Stevens family goes out to eat pretty much every night, and so if they plan on spending $20 a night, they eat out 3 times in the week. That's about $60. The Johnsons, on the other hand, rarely go out to eat and usually go to the grocery store and spend $20 for their groceries for the week to make food at home. So one day, both the Johnsons and the Stevens are having car problems and both their engines fail. The Stevens have no money to repair their engine since they've been spending all their money on food and fun. The Johnsons, on the other hand, have been investing and saving their money, especially in their rainy day fund, just in case something bad happens, like the engine failing. So since the Johnsons were able to get the engine fixed with the money they've been saving, Mr. Johnson was able to make it to work on time, and the whole family is still happy. The Stevens, on the other hand, have not been saving any money and were not able to fix the engine. So Mr. Stevens had to walk to work, and of course he was late and his boss was unhappy. 15 years later down the road, the Johnson's kid wants to go to college. Luckily, the Johnsons have been setting aside $50 per month for their kid's college fund, and now that it's time for him to go to college, they've saved about $11,000. The college itself only costs $8,000, so the Johnsons' kid is able to make it out of college loan-free. The Stevens kid, on the other hand, wants to go to the same college, but his parents have not saved any money since he wanted to go to college, and is unable to even afford to go to the college, which leads to the Stevens kid having to work at the carnival as a clown. So we go down the road 4 more years later. The Johnson's kid is now graduated college with a degree, has a nice high-paying job, and has started his own family. One day, the Johnson's kid, now with his own family, takes his kids to the carnival, where they see none other than the Stevens kid, who is now a clown and is earning only minimum wage. What's the moral of the story, you might ask? Invest and save now, so life is easier in the future. If you do this, you'll be much less stressed than if you didn't. And just remember, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.